let's talk about Jonah Tong. Jonah Tong called up last week. Jonah Tong, Jonah Tong, somebody who was supposed to be this sensation, this phenom, was the minor league leader in strikeouts a year ago. MLB pipeline top prospect, and for whatever reason, he struggled last year. The blowaway stuff that he had didn't translate to the big league roster. We have a game day vlog on the YouTube channel. It's still up. Nothing ever gets deleted. It's still up. And we covered his very first start in the majors. He went 5 innings, struck out 6. It was against the Marlins, a team that was not good last year. But nonetheless, I have never been a big fan of Jonah Tong, and I'll admit that here on the program. But Jonah Tong gets called up. And at the time, I cried foul. Because Jack Wenninger had better AAA numbers, better numbers in Syracuse than our buddy, the Canadian pea shooter, Jonah Tong. But yet, the Mets went ahead and they called up Jonah Tong over Jack Wenninger. And Jonah Tong performed just how I expected him to. When you look at Jonah Tong's numbers, got sent down right after the Seattle series was over yesterday. And you look at his major league numbers. Now, they kept him in the pen the entire time, so he wasn't a starter. But so far this season, he's made 3 appearances. He's 1-1, which win-loss record for a bullpen guy really doesn't mean much. 3.60 ERA, 7 strikeouts in 10 innings. Look at his game logs this year. May 22nd at Miami. 3 innings pitched, scoreless 3 innings. Not bad. 5 days later, Cincinnati Reds at home. 3 2/3 innings, 1 run on 3 hits. Not bad. But then Seattle yesterday was where he finally showed his true colors. 3 1/3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs on 5 hits. I mean, he did have 7 strikeouts in that time, so we can't be his strikeout to walks ratio. Let's take a look at that. 7 strikeouts to 7 walks. So the walks to strikeout ratio is not good either. Now, again, this is where the numbers are very misleading because while he did have a 3.60 ERA, which is not bad for him, all things considered, anytime you get a pitcher who has less strikeouts than innings pitched, that's a concern, especially with the way that strikeout rates have gone up drastically through the years. That's number one. Number two, when you have a guy who, for every strikeout he gets, he also allows 1 walk. Not good. 7 strikeouts to 7 walks. Now, also, in spring training, it was said that Tong needed development. He needed development. He needed development in his pitch repertoire because all he had was the amazing fastball, and that was it, right? So if this is a guy who needs development, why call him up? Why not give that spot to Jack Wenninger? Tong's AAA stats this year: 9 games, 1-3, 5.68 ERA, 55 strikeouts in 38 innings. That's a bit better, but the ERA is even worse in the minors than it is in the majors. The Mets called up the wrong guy, and I said it in that video a couple days ago. They called up the wrong guy. And then you look at Jack Wenninger, whose numbers have gone up a little bit since we last saw him, or last did a feature on him a couple weeks ago. But Jack Wenninger, in 10 starts, 3-3 record, 2.80 ERA, 46 Ks, and 45 innings. Granted, he's not striking out batters at as high a clip as Tong is in the minors, but his ERA is 3 points lower. I said it back then, and I'll say it again today. Jack Wenninger is more equipped to help the Mets today than Jonah Tong is. And you know what? I'm going to go on the record. I've seen enough of Jonah Tong. I don't want to see Jonah Tong back up in Flushing again this season, or on the big league club for that matter. I've had enough of Jonah Tong. It was a nice feel good moment. They wanted to give the kid another shot after last season, but it's done. It is absolutely done, finished. The experiment should be over. Um, Jonah Tong, I just have no words. Like the kid the kid is young. Jonah Tong is young. He's got the rest of his career ahead of him to have major league opportunities. Let him develop. Last season he was called up out of necessity. He shouldn't have been called up now. Jonah Tong's only 22 years old. He'll be 23 in a couple of weeks. Let's try again next year. How about that? Let him develop the rest of this season in Syracuse and keep him in Syracuse and don't bring him back up to the big league club. Because for a team who's president of baseball operations swears up and down that they want to win this year, they're going to be a competitive team this year, even though it's still kind of early, you're running out of time. You're running out of time. And what are you going to do? Now, granted, if the Mets go 30 games under 500, 20 games under 500, and you want to see what you got, then you bring him up. But if you're going to lie to the people, and shout out to the St. Louis Cardinals, by the way, told the people that they're going to be in a rebuild this year. We're trying to be honest, and the team has been better than what a rebuild team is. They're over 500, battling for wild card. But if you're going to tell the fans, yeah, we're going to be competitive this year, then why is a young man who needs development in his pitch repertoire, who's putting up struggling type numbers, getting opportunities with your big league ball club? That's the $1 million question.